Have you ever looked up at the night sky and felt a sense of profound wonder? Gazed upon the countless stars, each a distant sun, and considered the immense mysteries they hold? Our universe is a place of breathtaking scale and bewildering phenomena. We are, in many ways, just beginning to understand its secrets. Imagine for a moment that we could travel to one of these distant worlds, a journey not just through space, but through time itself. What if we were to step onto a planet where the very fabric of time behaved differently, where a single day could carry the weight of an entire human lifetime? It is a thought that challenges our most fundamental understanding of existence. This is not merely the realm of fantasy. The laws of nature, as we are coming to understand them, permit such extraordinary possibilities. The universe is not a static, uniform clockwork machine. Instead, it is a dynamic and flexible tapestry, where time can stretch and shrink, quicken and slow. What would it mean for a human being to experience such a dramatic shift? To live out the full arc of a life, from youth to old age, all within the span of a single rotation of an alien world? The implications are staggering, touching upon the very essence of what it means to be alive, to grow, and to perceive the passage of our own precious moments. The prospect is both terrifying and fascinating. So let us embark on this speculative voyage. Let us travel in our minds to a place where the rules are different. The cosmos awaits, full of wonders beyond our wildest imaginings. Here on our beautiful planet, life unfolds to a familiar and comforting rhythm. The sun rises, painting the sky with the gentle hues of dawn, and it sets, bringing the quiet dark of night. This daily cycle, this 24-hour rotation of our world, is the fundamental metronome of our existence. It governs when we sleep, when we work, and when we play. Our bodies are intricately tuned to this terrestrial clock. From the smallest microbe to the largest blue whale, every living thing on Earth has evolved to dance to this steady, predictable beat. This is the time we know, the time we feel in our very bones. Our journey from birth to old age is a slow, gradual process, measured against this constant earthly cadence. 100 years on this planet represents a vast expanse of time. It is enough for empires to rise and fall, for forests to grow, for generations of families to live their lives. Biologically, our aging is a complex symphony of cellular processes. Our cells divide, they repair themselves, but over many decades, tiny errors accumulate. This slow, incremental decline is what we call aging. It is a marathon, not a sprint, a long and winding road that we all travel at more or less the same pace, dictated by our shared biology and our planet's rotation. Think of the seasons, the fresh beginnings of spring, the long, warm days of summer, the colorful retreat of autumn, and the deep slumber of winter. These annual cycles are another layer of our perception of time. This slow, cyclical nature of time on Earth gives us a sense of stability. It allows us to build knowledge, to pass stories from one generation to the next, and to develop the deep and complex societies that define humanity. But what if this familiar clock was not the only one? What if our earthly rhythm is just one of many tempos in the grand cosmic orchestra? What happens when we leave the safety of our familiar rhythm behind? Over a century ago, a brilliant mind named Albert Einstein completely changed our understanding of time. He revealed that time is not a universal, constant tick-tock that is the same for everyone, everywhere. Instead, he showed us that time is woven together with space to form a single, four-dimensional fabric space-time. And this fabric is not rigid. It is flexible. It can be bent, stretched, and warped by the presence of matter and energy. This revolutionary idea, known as the theory of relativity, opened the door to some truly mind-bending possibilities. Imagine space-time as a vast, stretched-out rubber sheet. If you place a heavy object, like a bowling ball, onto the sheet, it creates a dip, a curve in the fabric. This is how Einstein described gravity. It is not a mysterious force pulling things together, but rather the curvature of space-time caused by mass. Planets, stars, and even black holes all create these dips. And just as a marble rolling across the sheet will have its path altered by the curve, so too is the flow of time affected. The stronger the gravity, the deeper the curve, and the slower time passes for an observer within that gravitational field. This is not just a theoretical concept. We have measured it. The clocks on GPS satellites, which orbit high above the Earth where gravity is slightly weaker, actually run a tiny fraction of a second faster than clocks on the ground. To ensure the GPS system works accurately, engineers must constantly adjust for this difference. It is a tangible, real-world proof that time is relative. It flows at different rates in different places. For us, the effect is minuscule, but it hints at a far grander principle at play in the wider cosmos, where gravitational forces can be unimaginably more powerful than they are here on Earth. So, what does this mean for our journey through the cosmos? It means that time is not a fixed destination, but a variable path. One person's hour might be another person's minute. This cosmic dance of space-time, choreographed by gravity, suggests that planets could exist where time flows at a dramatically different pace compared to Earth. Let us imagine such a world. We can call it Eon. This planet does not orbit a star like our Sun, but something far more massive and dense. Perhaps a gargantuan black hole, a point in space where gravity is so intense that nothing, not even light, can escape. Eon orbits this cosmic behemoth at a precarious distance just outside the point of no return. Here, in this extreme environment, the fabric of space-time is stretched to its absolute limit. The immense gravity of the black hole creates a profound time dilation effect, a slowing of time so extreme that it defies our earthly intuition. From the perspective of a distant observer, say, on a spaceship parked safely far away, Eon would appear to be moving in extreme slow motion. Its clouds would crawl across the sky at a glacial pace, and its geological processes would unfold over what seems like eons. But for someone standing on the surface of Eon, time would feel perfectly normal. A second would feel like a second, a minute like a minute. The local clock would tick away just as it does on Earth. The inhabitant would be completely unaware that for every one of their hours, centuries, or even millennia are passing for the rest of the universe. This is the very essence of relativity. There is no single, absolute clock. Time is relative to the observer's frame of reference. An astronaut who lands on Eon for what they perceive as a 24-hour mission would be stepping into a bubble of severely slowed time. While their watch ticks off the seconds of a single day, the universe outside continues at its normal pace. Friends and family back on Earth would live out their entire lives. Civilizations could rise and fall. The stars in the sky would shift as galaxies spin over millions of years, all while our astronaut experiences a single sunrise and sunset. This incredible disparity is the key to our thought experiment. Aging is a biological process that happens within the body's own frame of reference. The astronaut's cells would divide, their heart would beat, and their body would age according to their local subjective experience of time. So, if they spend 24 hours on Eon, their body would age by 24 hours. However, 100 years of Earth time would have passed in the wider universe. To experience aging 100 years in a single day, we must flip the scenario. The astronaut must come from a place like Eon, where time runs slow, and travel to a place like Earth, where time runs fast. Now let us imagine our traveler. They are not from Earth, but from a world like Eon, where time passes incredibly slowly. For their entire life, they have existed in a bubble of dilated time. They decide to embark on a journey to a planet where time flows much, much faster. A planet like our Earth. When they land, their biological clock, calibrated to the slow time of their homeworld, is suddenly subjected to the blistering pace of ours. For every second that they experience, hours, days, or even weeks of biological processes are triggered within their body. A single 24-hour day on this new world becomes a century of aging. The first few hours would be a bewildering storm of change. As the morning sun rises, their body, which might have been that of a young adult, would begin its accelerated journey. The skin would lose its elasticity, fine lines appearing around the eyes and mouth, deepening into wrinkles with each passing minute. Their hair would begin to thin and lose its color, turning from its youthful shade to silver, then to a brilliant white, all before noon. Their posture would start to stoop as their bones lose density, and their joints would ache with the sudden onset of a lifetime of wear and tear. It would be a relentless, unstoppable cascade of physiological change. By midday, the internal changes would become just as dramatic as the external ones. Their metabolism, once efficient and strong, would slow dramatically. The heart, forced to beat through decades of work in a matter of hours, would begin to weaken. Their eyesight would dim, the world blurring as cataracts form with astonishing speed. Their hearing would fade, the vibrant sounds of this new world becoming muffled and distant. Every system in their body would be undergoing the full spectrum of senescence, the process of deterioration with age, compressed into an impossibly short time frame. It would be a biological hurricane. As evening approaches, our traveler would embody the full physical manifestation of a centenarian. Their movements would be slow and deliberate, their body frail. The energy of their youth, which they possessed only a few hours ago, would be a distant memory, replaced by the profound weariness of a long life lived. The physical journey from youth to deep old age, a path that takes us a lifetime to walk, would have been sprinted in less than a day. The setting sun would cast a long shadow, a poignant symbol for a life that has been lived in its entirety between a single dawn and dusk. The physical transformation would be shocking, but the changes within the mind would be a different kind of ordeal altogether. Our consciousness is not designed for such a rapid journey. The human mind evolves slowly, building upon experiences, learning from mistakes, and gradually maturing over decades. What would happen if the neurological processes of aging, the slowing of reflexes, the changes in memory recall, the shift in emotional regulation, were all compressed into a single day? The traveler's mind would be in a state of constant, bewildering flux, struggling to keep pace with its own rapid evolution. In the morning, they might possess the quick wit and sharp, curious mind of a young person. But as the hours tick by, they would feel their thoughts begin to slow. The ability to process new information, to learn the ways of this strange new world, would diminish with each passing minute. Imagine the frustration of feeling your own intellect, once a reliable tool, becoming foggy and less certain. Short-term memories from just an hour ago might become difficult to access, while the long-term memories of their home world would remain, creating a strange and disorienting internal landscape where the distant past feels more real than the immediate present. This accelerated aging would also reshape their emotional world. The passions and ambitions of youth would give way to the more contemplative and sometimes fearful state of old age. A sense of urgency might be replaced by a feeling of detachment, of watching the world from a distance. The emotional resilience that allows us to cope with life's challenges would be tested beyond its limits. How could one process the grief, the joy, the regrets, and the wisdom of 100 years when there is no time to reflect? It would be a psychological whirlwind, an emotional storm with no anchor. By the end of the day, our traveler would possess the mind of a very old person, but a mind that has been formed under the most unnatural of circumstances. They would have the cognitive patterns of a centenarian without the lifetime of experiences to give them context. Would they feel wise or simply exhausted? Would they find peace or only confusion? The mind, like the body, needs time to adapt and grow. Forcing it through a century of development in 24 hours is a journey into uncharted psychological territory, one that raises profound questions about the relationship between our brain, our experiences, and our sense of self. Perhaps the most haunting aspect of this accelerated aging would be the profound sense of loss for a life never truly lived. We are, in many ways, the sum of our experiences and the memories we create. Our first love, the joy of raising a family, the satisfaction of a career, the friendships forged over decades, these are the pillars that give a long life its meaning and richness. Our traveler, aging 100 years in a day, would have none of this. They would have the body and mind of an old person, but their soul would be a near empty vessel, haunted by the ghosts of memories that were never made. Imagine looking at your own wrinkled hands, hands that tell the story of 100 years of labor and love, but having no memory of the work they did or the people they held. You would feel the physical frailty of age without the accompanying wisdom earned through a lifetime of trials and triumphs. It would be a profound and deeply unsettling form of dissociation, a disconnect between your physical self and your experiential self. You would be a stranger in your own body, a living contradiction, old in form but young in experience, carrying the weight of years without the wealth of moments. This raises a fascinating question. What constitutes a life? Is it merely the biological process of living and aging, the ticking of a cellular clock? Or is it the narrative we build, the story we tell ourselves about who we are, woven from the threads of our past? For our traveler, that narrative would be almost entirely absent. Their life story would have a beginning, on their home world, and a sudden abrupt end, on this new one. The vast middle, the part where life is actually lived, would be a blank, unfilled page. The feeling would be one of incredible, heartbreaking emptiness. This experience would be the ultimate form of loneliness. Not just loneliness from being far from home, but a deeper, more existential loneliness. The loneliness of being disconnected from your own life's journey. You would see other elderly people on this new world, and you might look like them, but you would not share their inner world. They would have a rich tapestry of memories, of laughter and tears, of successes and failures. You would have only the bewildering memory of a single, transformative day. In the quiet moments you might wonder, did I even live at all? The science that makes this thought experiment possible, while extreme, is rooted in established physics. The principle of time dilation is a core prediction of Einstein's theory of general relativity. It states that time passes more slowly for an observer in a stronger gravitational field. To achieve the dramatic effect of aging 100 years in 24 hours, we would need a planet subjected to unimaginably powerful gravitational forces. This would most likely mean a planet orbiting perilously close to a supermassive black hole, as we imagined with our planet Eon. A black hole is a region of space-time where gravity is so strong that it creates a one-way door in the universe. Once you cross its boundary, the event horizon, there is no escape. The incredible mass of the black hole warps space-time around it to an extreme degree. For a planet like Eon to exist, it would need to be in a stable orbit in this highly curved region. Time on its surface would pass extraordinarily slowly compared to time in a region with weaker gravity like our solar system. A single hour on Eon could correspond to decades or even centuries of Earth time. This is the time debt that gets paid back when our traveler visits Earth. When our traveler leaves their high-gravity home and journeys to Earth, a low-gravity environment, they are essentially moving from the slow lane of time to the fast lane. Their internal biological clock, which is a collection of complex chemical reactions, is still calibrated to their homeworld's slow passage of time. But on Earth, the external universe is rushing past at a frantic pace. The chemical and biological processes that constitute aging, cell division, DNA replication errors, metabolic processes, would be forced to accelerate to catch up with the local flow of time. A lifetime's worth of biological change would be compressed into the span of a single day. While the physics is plausible, the biology is of course purely speculative. No known organism could survive such a rapid acceleration of its life processes. The energy required would be immense, and the cellular machinery would likely break down under the strain, leading to a catastrophic failure of all bodily systems. However, as a thought experiment, it serves a powerful purpose. It uses the known laws of physics to push our understanding of life to its absolute limit, forcing us to contemplate the intricate relationship between the cosmic laws that govern the universe and the biological laws that govern our own fragile existence. Our journey has taken us to the very edge of imagination, to a world where a lifetime unfolds between sunrise and sunset. We have explored the strange and wonderful nature of time, not as a steady, unyielding river, but as a flexible, flowing current that can be shaped by the immense forces of the cosmos. Through the lens of Einstein's relativity, we see that our earthly experience of time, our familiar 24-hour day, and the slow march of the years, is just one possibility among an infinity of others. The universe is far grander and more mysterious than we can perhaps ever fully comprehend. This speculative tale of accelerated aging forces us to ask profound questions. What does it mean to live a full life? Is it the duration we measure on a clock, or the richness of the experiences we gather? Our traveler, who aged a century in a day, had the duration but missed the experience, leaving them with an emptiness that is almost too vast to contemplate. It suggests that the true value of our time lies not in its quantity, but in the quality of the moments we fill it with the love, the learning, the connections, and the memories we create along our shared journey on this planet. The universe is a place of endless wonder. From the slow, graceful dance of galaxies over billions of years, to the frantic, fleeting existence of subatomic particles, time operates on scales that are both impossibly vast and infinitesimally small. By looking up at the night sky, we are also looking back in time, seeing stars as they were hundreds or thousands of years ago. The cosmos is a time machine, and we are its passengers. Every discovery we make, whether about the nature of gravity or the workings of a living cell, deepens our appreciation for the magnificent complexity of it all. So the next time you feel the sun on your face or watch the seasons change, take a moment to marvel at the particular rhythm of our world. Our time here is precious, unfolding at a pace that allows for growth, for reflection, and for wonder. The universe may hold worlds where time bends in unbelievable ways, but we have been given the gift of this time, on this world, and the greatest journey of all is to live it as fully and as curiously as we can always, with an eye to the magnificent, starlit mysteries that surround us.